Habit number 3 in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey is to keep first things first. What does that mean? Well, you have to do the most important things first. You see, most people prioritize what's on their schedule, but instead, if you want to be highly effective, you must schedule your priorities. I want you to look at your calendar from yesterday. Just analyze it. How much time did you spend on your most important activities? And how much time did you block for those most important activities? And did you follow through on all of those time blocks? Or did you only follow through on the time blocks which you had for meetings with others while letting your important work take a backseat? You see, your calendar is a graveyard of broken promises to yourself, diminishing respect for your own word. You keep your word to everyone else, but not to yourself. You use the calendar to schedule everyone else, but when you use the calendar to schedule your most important work, 99% of the time, it does not happen. It's time to change this. You see, most people out there operate their life with very little intention. And in order to do first things first, or in order to live an intentional life, we must start with doing first things first. Most people let their schedules dictate their lives. Rather than designing their schedule to create the best possible lives for themselves, they waste most of their life working on things that are not even important. So in the book 7 Habits, Stephen Covey talks about the 4 quadrants. And if you want to follow along here, let me show you how these 4 quadrants work. If you think of y-axis, on top of the y-axis put important, on the bottom of the y-axis put not important, and on an x-axis, on the left side put urgent, on the right side put important. What this makes is the 4 quadrants, and the first quadrant is what's urgent and important. Second quadrant is what's not urgent but important. Third quadrant is what's not important but urgent, and fourth quadrant is not important and not urgent. You see, first quarter 1 is important and urgent. These are deadline-driven activities, time-sensitive activities, maybe meetings with clients, production issues, upcoming launches, immediate sales or marketing campaigns. These are the kinds of things you must learn to manage. Q2 is what's important but not urgent. Q2 is important but not urgent. These are the activities that give you the highest return on the time you invest in them. This is strategic thinking, execution, working on your major projects, innovation, team building, leadership, relationships, whether it's with your customers, whether it's your affiliates, whether it's with your family members, whether it's your team, relationships of all kinds, and then also rejuvenation, as in sharpening your own saw. Then Q3 are activities that are not important but are urgent. These are things like emails, messenger notifications, Slack notifications, all of that stuff. Low leverage tasks that generate very little results in the grand scheme of things. These are things you must avoid. And Q4, these are things that are not important and not urgent. And you must limit them to the extreme, to as much as you can. This is stuff like news, social media, TV, all that stuff. You see, most people spend majority of their time on Q1, Q3, and Q4 activities. They get busy with what's important and urgent, deadline-driven activities, client meetings, production issues, upcoming launches, all that stuff. Or they get distracted by the not important but urgent, like emails and notifications and low leverage tasks and news and social media and websites and all those things. These are all Q1, Q3, and Q4 type activities. These are all activities that do not necessarily give you the highest leverage for your time invested. And most people never attend to their most important activities. They let their lives be run by Q1, Q3, and Q4 activities. Either they're focused on the urgent stuff, which is important or not important, or they're focused on, or they're spending or wasting their time away on stuff that's not urgent or not even important. Most people think that it's enough to attend to what's urgent and important, right? You might be thinking that if I attend to what's important and urgent, that's enough. But the truth is, it's the important stuff which is not urgent, that is the most important. What I mean by that is the most important activities in your life are rarely urgent until it's too late. Let me explain again. The most important activities, for example, working on your relationships. It's rarely that urgent, but sometimes it's too late to revive a relationship. Or your health. It's one of the most important things you can do to maintain your health, to build your health. It's not urgent, but it is one of the most important activities. But most people, what they do is they delay it. They delay it because it's not urgent until it is too late. But our job is to work on what is most important, not what is most urgent. So I want you to do this simple thing. Analyze everything you did yesterday and ask yourself what % of your time was spent on each of these 4 quadrants, especially on quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 is important but not urgent. And your job now is to spend more and more and more time on quadrant 2 activities, stuff that is important but not urgent. So let me give you an exercise. Identify the Q2 activities for next week. What's important but not urgent? The strategic projects, as we mapped out earlier here, the strategic projects, the strategic thinking time, execution, major projects out there, innovation, team building, leadership, relationships, all that stuff. That's Q2. Now schedule those Q2 activities in your calendar and don't let your calendar become a graveyard of broken promises to yourself, okay? Follow through on these activities every single day, every single time. Now, this is where most people fail because they depend on their motivation and willpower to follow through on their commitments. And willpower and motivation are just too fickle for that to happen. In order to follow through on your commitments to yourself, in order to follow through on your commitment to do your first things first, in order to follow through on your commitment to do your most important work first, in order to follow through on your commitment to do your most important work and not the urgent work, you need accountability. And that is why I designed focusblocks.io to help you accomplish what you know is most important to you, to help you accomplish the first things first. Let me tell you a little more about focusblocks.io. How many of us know exactly what we should be doing to achieve our goals, but for some reason just don't end up doing those things? We have great ideas, but we get stuck in procrastination, overwhelm, and analysis paralysis, which leads to a lot of wasted time every single day. We feel scattered, disorganized, and all over the place. We lack structure and accountability and have trouble following through on what we say we are going to do. And this pattern repeats itself every day, day in and day out. It doesn't have to be like this. Introducing Focus Blocks, the ultimate productivity tool for creators, entrepreneurs, and knowledge workers of every kind who use their brains to create value in this world. Using the proven science of live, real-time, human-to-human accountability, we can turbo boost your productivity within an hour. Here is how it works. First, identify the times when you intend to do your most important work, and then book 1 hour long live focus blocks from our calendar inside the members area. Second, simply show up for your live focus block. Every focus block is guided by a live trained focus guide and conducted over live Zoom video call with participants from around the world. We recommend you keep your camera on because it builds in an additional level of accountability, but if you want to keep the camera off, that's okay too. For the first few minutes, the focus guide will direct everyone to remove all distractions and ask everyone to make commitments on what they will be working on during the focus block. All done via chat or in small breakout rooms on Zoom. Now, your focus guide will officially start the focus block work session. Minimize your Zoom window and open your work window. With clear intention and commitment, you get to work on your most important task. Everyone on the call is on mute, so you don't hear a pin drop. Allow yourself to lose your sense of time and just immerse yourself in your work. The focus block work session usually lasts for 47 to 53 minutes, but you don't have to worry about keeping time because your guide keeps the time. And when the time is up, your focus guide will use soft sounds to let you know that the focus block work session is done. You report on your progress on Zoom, via chat, or in small breakout rooms. You celebrate your victories, and then your focus guide will guide you through some scientifically proven relaxation exercises and stretches before the focus block is done. Now, having accomplished your most important work for the day, you can now start another focus block right after, or you can go on with your day, your choice. The more focus blocks you do every day, the more goals you accomplish. So we recommend you do as many focus blocks as possible, and that's why we give you unlimited access to focus blocks. Your focus blocks become your cornerstone ritual, keeping you on track and shortening the gap between where you are and where you want to be. As a result of just showing up for focus blocks, you finally start doing the things you always knew you should be doing. With this newfound structure and clarity, you will accomplish more goals in less time and consistently stack wins by focusing on your highest impact activities. Don't go it alone anymore. Use focus blocks to get real-time human accountability and consistently turn your goals and dreams into concrete accomplishments you are proud of. Join focus blocks today.